March 11, 2011, 2:46 in the afternoon, off the northeast coast of Japan. The seabed ruptures along a fault hundreds of miles long, unleashing a magnitude 9.1 earthquake, the most powerful in Japan's recorded history and one of the largest ever measured on Earth. But the earthquake is not what kills nearly 20,000 people. What kills them is the wall of water it sends toward the most tsunami-prepared nation in the world. Japan saw this coming. That is the tragedy. No country on the planet was more ready for a tsunami. Japan had the world's best early warning system, coastal seawalls decades in the making, and evacuation drills practiced since childhood. And still the water came over the walls, through the towns, and into a nuclear plant that engineers had been warned for years could not survive it. This is not a story about a wave nobody expected. It's a story about a country that prepared for the wrong size of ocean. To understand it, you have to understand the walls. For generations, Japanese towns built seawalls sized to the tsunamis they remembered, the ones from the last 100 years. The fishing town of Taro built a barrier so vast it was called the Great Wall of Taro, nearly 10 meters high and over 2 kilometers long, a structure its people believed could not be beaten. But the ocean doesn't build to human memory. In the year 869, a tsunami we now call the Jogan flooded this same coast far deeper than anything in living memory, 1,100 years before 2011. Long past the reach of any wall built for the recent past. And the warnings weren't only ancient. In the hills above the village of Aneyoshi stood a stone tablet, carved by the survivors of an earlier disaster. Its message was blunt: do not build your homes below this point. For decades, Aneyoshi obeyed it. When the 2011 wave came, it stopped just short of that stone. The village lived. Most of the coast had no such stone, or ignored the one they had. At 3:25 that afternoon, the tsunami arrived. Along parts of the coast, it surged 10, 20, in places nearly 40 meters, higher than the buildings it swallowed. The Great Wall of Taro was overtopped and torn apart. Whole towns were scoured to their foundations in minutes. In the town of Minami-Sanriku, a 24-year-old city worker named Miki Endo stayed at her microphone in the emergency center, broadcasting over the town loudspeakers again and again, "Get to high ground, the water is coming." She kept transmitting as the wave reached the building. Thousands heard her and ran. She did not make it out. Her voice is credited with saving people she would never meet. And then there was the plant. At Fukushima Daiichi, 6 reactors sat behind a seawall built for a tsunami of about 5.5 meters. Years earlier, engineers had run the numbers and warned that a far larger wave was possible, that the plant's defenses were not enough. The warning was studied, debated, and set aside. The wave that reached Fukushima was around 13 meters. It poured over the seawall, flooded the basements where the backup generators sat, and cut the power keeping the reactors cool. 3 of them melted down, not because the disaster was unimaginable, but because it had been imagined, written down, and filed away. When the water pulled back, nearly 20,000 people were dead or missing. Whole communities were gone. 160,000 more fled the radiation around Fukushima. It remains the costliest natural disaster in recorded history. Japan did almost everything right. It built the walls, sounded the alarms, trained its people, and it still lost because the sea it prepared for was smaller than the sea that actually exists. The Jogan tsunami was in the record. The stone above Aneyoshi still stood. The report on Fukushima had already been written. The ocean had been telling the truth for 1,100 years. We simply built our walls to the size of what we chose to remember. If you made it this far, thank you. The coast is rebuilding, the new seawalls stand taller, and the old tsunami stones still keep their watch. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.